What if I'm going to tell you that there's one simple indicator that shows where the bottom could be? In this video, I'll trim the most important outlooks that I've done in my previous live stream. Today, I'll talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum's bottom. And this is my game plan, unless some things change. But if not, and we're still on the same bearish page, this is my game plan. So, thanks for jumping back into my channel. Smash a like and subscribe if you like the content. It costs you absolutely nothing, and let's begin. But before I begin, a quick reminder that no one knows where the top or where the bottom is. We're not the whales. We're definitely not a JP Morgan or BlackRock. We're not institutions. We are ants, a small fish in this crypto ocean. We don't have any impact in the market. The bottom will be formed by institutions and big players when the price will be acceptable for them to accumulate at those levels, based on the market sentiments and their confidence of this risky asset class. In the meantime, this is the only thing what we can do. We can check the past data from the history, the price action patterns, what was the type of market structure back then when the players that runs the game started to loading up quite big. Again, nothing you hear is financial advice. Do your own goddamn research, but this is my take, my mental preparation, and my game plan. So right now we are on the weekly time frame, Bitcoin charts, and once again, there's one simple indicator that was respected every single time when we are touching a line of it. So let me just open up. Once again, we're talking about 50, 200 day moving average, also SMMA, smooth moving average. And every single time when Bitcoin found a bottom, smooth moving average was that one indicator that shows where our bottom could be. Of course, we can always double check on the 50 and 200 day moving average, of course, weekly moving average, because we're on the weekly time frame. Right now, we lost a support from this weekly 50-day moving average on the weekly time frame, of course, and right now we're heading into a 66.7K. If those moving averages are going to stay flat, if we're not going to reshape the form, the first target point would be this key level that perfectly aligns with a demand that we talked numerous times, that we accumulated this demand during the summer back in 2024. But once again, let's just take a look at the history and also 50 SMMA. I cannot see the data here, but I don't need that. Every single freaking time we're founding a bottom, we're quite close to 200 SMMA. Previous cycle's bottom was we went even below 200 SMMA. We got disrespected. I mean, SMMA got disrespected, went below it. Then, of course, once again, after the shake off above it. And that was our bottom. That is pretty much it. And of course, if I'm going to do my educated guess, if the SMMA of 200 is going to start flatting or moving just a little bit to the upside, and the price, of course, we're going to form a right shoulder. Once again, this is, and we're going to go straight to the downside. My bottom could be, and this if I would like to invest big into Bitcoin. This is what I would do if I would like to invest quite heavy into a Bitcoin. This whole wide gap, of course, yes, it is boring. This is a higher time frame. But this is the place where I would start opening my wallet. And from the $70,000, I would like to start doing dollar cost average. Of course, a lot of big players, influencers, they announce that they're buying right now. They're buying the dip, and the dip just keeps dipping, which is, in their strategy, they're not wrong. Because eventually, I do believe that the Bitcoin in the near future will reach a higher price. than 125K. And they doing this is the right thing, what they do right now, because once again, no one knows where the top or where the bottom is. We have no freaking idea. But this level that we talk like numerous times, between 50 and 70K, this is the place where I would like to start accumulating quite heavy Bitcoin. Every single time, even back in 2013, when we found a bottom at approximately 2015, right here, 200 SMMA was that one key indicator that shows where the bottom could be, a potential bottom. So I'm trying to navigate myself in the markets based on this type of indicator. Can price go even lower? Can the price go even lower? Abso-freaking-lutely. And that is why a lot of people are doing dollar cost average, because no one knows, once again, where the bottom could be. But I do believe, I have like a strong belief that this could be a market structure that we could start forming on the Bitcoin by looking, I don't know, in the upcoming year. No one knows what the future is holding us. The only thing what I can do is just to speculate based on the data from the past, and the total drawdown, once again, as we talked, from the 2013 dump, negative 86% until we found the bottom. 2018, negative 84%. Then, of course, the COVID dip. I'm not going to include this one. And, of course, back in 2021, when we found the bottom, we went all the way to the downside by negative 78%. So it seems that every single cycle we have, in a good way, that 10% discount. So if we're going to go at around 66, again, 10% discount for this drop, everything is perfectly aligned at those levels where I want to start accumulating. I cannot be that accurate with my bottom, but 47 and 50K, 54, it is pretty realistic scenario. If I'm going to start connecting more of those touch points between 60 and 48, or let's just say that round flat number 50, 58, and 50, or from the 60K to 50K, this is the zone where I'm going to start loading up big. Could I be wrong about this? Abso-freaking-lutely. What if Bitcoin will only gonna get inside this gap, gonna start consolidate, break the whole structure from a bearish into the bullish, and start rallying up to the upside? So that is what all the people are doing right now. They're doing the dollar cost average. This is just illustrate that no one knows where the top or the bottom could be. But we are not a market makers. We're not moving the market. The only thing what we can do is to try to adapt to the situation. So this type of movements looks quite healthy. They'll look pretty decent. And this is what I'm expecting from the Bitcoin. So your choice is to start managing your portfolio, to start doing that dollar cost average thing the right way. Maybe you're going to start loading up like quite easily here. You're going to start buying just a little bit, until we're going to dip into those levels, and you're going to start loading up big. And the drawdown, all of those percentages, the whole dump by 66 or even 70%, and this whole gap between 60 and 50K, and this whole demand that we created during the summer back in 2024, and SMMA, smooth moving average, that every single time it got the respect when we found the bottom, everything is perfectly aligned at those levels. So this is your window where you can start accumulating more Bitcoin quite heavily here. You're going to start opening your deep pockets, and you're going to start accumulating. Not financial advice. Invest in what you believe. But fellas, if you're believing this industry, for those who are believers, all I wanted to say is that everybody deserves Bitcoin or Ethereum. I mean, they get the Bitcoin and Ethereum at the price they deserve. So your balls has to be in stainless steel shape if you're buying at those levels, because at this moment, when we're going to find those bottoms, the fear in the market is going to be extremely on the high level. So when everyone is panicking, even we have a panic right now, the fear is that the fear and greed index at the very low, and that is why everybody's starting to doing that dollar cost average, because everybody knows when there is like a scary to jump, this is the right time to do that. You know what? And yeah, there's no right or wrong. And I mean, there's no right or wrong thing to do the dollar cost average all the way to the downside, because at the end of the day, for those who are believing the Bitcoin, only invest in what you believe in. Once again, you're gonna end up being profitable with your investment. So this is how I think. This is how I prepare myself to accumulate. This is with no leverage. This is my spot. This is what I'm planning to do. So take it or leave it. This is my take. But I do believe that the Bitcoin could easily go down to 47, 48, 49, or $50,000. This whole distance, I mean, between the whole gap between $47,000, $50,000, it doesn't change a thing if my target is a $50,000, and then we're going to go a little bit lower. So those few percentages, or like a 10%, an extra 10% drawdown, it means absolutely nothing to me. So this is my take on the Bitcoin. Once again, quite simple technical analysis on the weekly time frame, looking based on the data. And of course, Bitcoin, every single time, me as a trader, what I'm looking right now, every single freaking time, Bitcoin is building a resistance base. And based on that resistance base, on every freaking cycle, it works like a compass for me as a trader, because I'm waiting for those type of breakouts of the descending trend. And what that means? That means that the trend is broken and we're shifting from a bearish into the bullish market structure once again. So I'm trying to wait for the Bitcoin at this very moment. Of course, it's going to take it could take a time. Right now, even the 1 year is 6 to 9 months. It doesn't matter. But I'm waiting for this resistance, a clean and nice, respectful resistance, to be formed, and waiting for that heavy, let's just say powerful, not a heavy, a powerful breakout to the upside. Right now, we have absolutely nothing. Of course, a lot of people are still expecting that, and especially me, I'm expecting that Bitcoin has that one small rally to the upside, only if, once again, only if, don't make me this to repeat, you guys, that only if this is our top and the bear market is in. The bear market vibes are in, and then by printing a right shoulder, this is the poo-poo that I'm waiting for. So take it or leave it. This is my game plan, unless something's changed. Look at this pump. The previous pump that we saw on the 4-hour time frame, on the 1 hour time frame, 4 to 1 hour time frame, the previous pump just illustrates that there was some kind of bullish news in the market that Donald Trump is planning to visit China. So I'm not here to talk politics in this channel, but Donald Trump is quite a wild card, and we have no idea what the future is holding us. So if that previous small pump was based on the news that the Trump is visiting China, what kind of news needs to happen? If this could be a war, this could be a little bit more bullish news that we had right now. Everything could change like drastically if there's some kind of news going to start popping up, like with all those crazy headlines on the news, CNBC, CNN, doesn't matter, like New York Times, whatever you're tracking right now. And yeah, so if there's going to be some kind of bearish narrative and there's going to be extremely bearish news that, oh my God, the world is about to end. So yeah, expect a drawdown. This is your mental preparation if this scenario is going to start playing out. Am I right? Am I wrong? Well, only the time could tell us. Right now, let's jump straight into ETH, because ETH, I don't want to say I'm changing the whole game plan on ETH, but ETH has to do the same as Bitcoin. For me, from the trading perspective, ETH has to form some kind of descending trend for me to take that long swing once again on ETH, or from the trading perspective on the weekly time frame. This is like a high time frame, so do as you please. So we need to start forming some kind of descending trend for me to start navigating in where we can start getting rejected, where we can start bouncing back up, and what we need to start breaking, where we need to see some kind of breakout in order to start flying higher on Ethereum. And of course, I told you that my Ethereum's bottom, of course, I'm not gonna speculate based on the SMMA and because Ethereum and MMA, moving average. So because Ethereum is a little bit more choppier, and yeah, the price action is just not smooth as on as we see on Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. But right now, my bottom was, and I announced that Ethereum has to reach, and the bottom could be at 1.8K. Because this is where all of the juice are sit at. So 1.8K would be my bottom, but no one is saying that, and most definitely not me. I'm not saying that this could be like the bottom. I'm not saying that this would be like the bottom. I'm just saying that for me, the bottom on ETH would be perfect if we're gonna start seeing a rebound at 1.8K, if that was our top once again. And we discussed about this in my previous live stream. So for those who want to join and in the next live stream, smash your like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and wait for my goddamn call out. But the thing is that we were speculating based on that if that 2021 top was at what? At approximately 1.8, 1.9K. And right now, we just have a little bit, just a touch, a little bit of a higher price on ETH, but we have pretty much the same top as we got back in 2021. So I'm saying that no one is holding Ethereum for not retesting this bottom as we got from 2021 until we found the bottom back in 2022. Nobody, I mean, I'm not saying that Ethereum cannot go lower. Ethereum always can go lower. And looking from all of those percentages, all of those drawdowns by a negative 66 or even 70%. So if Ethereum, as we already know that, yeah, if the Bitcoin drops, Ethereum has to drop a little bit harder. So what if this is our top? And let's just imagine that Ethereum goes by 66% or whatever, 70, and it has to drop a little bit more harder than the Bitcoin. So my take would be that Ethereum, nobody is holding Ethereums to replicate this type of movement. Once again, get back and to start retesting $1,000. That round, stupid psychological number that could hold the price inside this range between 1,000 and 4K. So that is my take. That, I mean, my bottom for Ethereum would be perfectly that to see some kind of rebound or a rally at 1.8K. But the thing is that I refuse to believe the bottom for me, 1.8K, is because that I refuse to believe, once again, that people, most of the retail traders that believes in Ethereum and they accumulated, or let's just say they bought ETH back in 2018 at 1.2, 1.3, 1.4K at those absolutely tops, because this is where the retail starts to kick in the market. I refuse to believe that people in 8 years made absolutely nothing, or even less than nothing, absolutely zero. So for me, it's hard to believe, and the belief in the Ethereum system for a lot of people could fade once again, as we saw the multiple times this cycle, that a lot of people just refuse to believe that Ethereum could start showing its full potential and a rally to our promised land right now at $7,000 or $8,000. Comparing with the Bitcoin rally, yes, this cycle we had to sit at approximately $7,000 or maybe $8,000 Ethereum price. So my take once again on ETH, 1.8K looks juicy, but if we won't hold this support, higher lows, and we're gonna print a lower low, I mean $1,000 more or less 1K at approximately here would be my bottom. If the Ethereum is going to replicate the same move as we did back in 2021. Because if this was our top, 4.9 or 4.8K, and also this is our top, 4.8 and 4.9K this cycle. So once again, my question is, what holds Ethereum to replicate the same price action, the same movement as we did? And we look pretty similar right now. We're all of us are looking for a bounce into that supply once again, because there's like no bearish setups right now for me to trade based on my strategy Ethereum. I'm just waiting. The crypto market in the past month was extremely boring. It is extremely boring right now. So nobody's saying that Ethereum cannot replicate the same move and to just jump to retest $1,000, which would be like quite decent price for me to start loading up big. Again, right now we have this key level. This key level has the respect. This key level has the respect. And from the range lows to range highs, where's my range tool? From the range lows to a range highs, I just want to see a correlation and the respect between the key levels. What I like is that, yeah, we see the respect at the top because we connected all of those touch points, and we see the respect here at the bottom. Multiple touch points at the top, multiple touch points here at the right, here at the top. The mid-range has a a nice respect. Every single time we're touching the mid-range, it perfectly aligns with the key level. Look, every single time we're bouncing back up. 2.1, 2.2K always has the respect. So my take is that if we're going that low on Ethereum, we retested the top of the range like multiple times, the mid-range has the respect, but the bottom here didn't got enough retest to double check and to see some kind of double confirmation that this is our potential, or let's just say true bottom. And then once again, that will be my price action for ETH in the upcoming months, 2, 3, 6 to 9 months. Who knows how long it could take us. But again, because last time I was wrong about this ascending trend, because, well, I'm not technically wrong because we're trading everything what is above that, and we're trading also in the short sell everything was like if we're breaking down. So we broke down this ascending trend. So what holds Ethereum to break this ascending trend when we have multiple confirmation here at the bottom? And what holds Ethereum to break this ascending trend once again? Have you ever thought about that? So all I want to highlight here that please don't judge me if I'm pushing this bearish narrative. I need to prepare if the most terrible scenario is going to start playing out. How I need to position myself. I need to position myself accordingly. I need to be prepared for any type of scenario in the market. And according to this whole pattern thing, or ascending, let's just say ascending and descending trends, I want to wait for the Ethereum to form also some kind of base of resistance that I can start navigating where I need to see some kind of breakout in order for me to be way more confident in my bullish narrative. For me to be, as those institutions are going to start being more confident in this risky asset class, I want to be confident as well based on my strategy. So take it or leave it, redraw those things, take a screenshot, and this is my game plan. The juiciest place would be the 1.8K, because in order, if this whole 1.8K will hold us and we're going to start bouncing up, maybe we're going to start breaking out, I'm looking at this, and this is explosive pattern. This is an explosive pattern with insane amount of resistance at here at the top, and we're still printing higher lows, higher lows. So if this is not an ascending, let's just say triangle pattern, this is an explosive pattern, the one that we're trying to trade inside the whale room. Also, if you want to trade with us, there's a link down below. Apply and wait. Keep an eye on your inbox if all the spots are full. So this is my take. 1.8K would be awesome, but nonetheless, Ethereum could easily drop to 1K once again just to retest the bottom of this range, or even just a little bit higher. So it would be 1.2K because we have tons of demand here. So that would be awesome. And so that is my take. Those are my potential bottoms on Ethereum and Bitcoin. And once again, Bitcoin, massive gap where I'm going to start opening my wallet. This is the gap. 50, 60, $47,000 is also on the table, because it seems that with this drop, and we're going to continue dropping, this SMMA is going to just start flatting as we saw here, So a simple one indicator that shows every single freaking time, every single cycle, one way or another, from 2013 till now, 2025, one way or another, we retested that smooth moving average, SMMA. You can simply find this indicator by typing all of those 4 letters and just go it, replace from whatever the number is inside this indicator into a 200, into a 50. So yeah, take it or leave it. This is my take. This is a quick market update. We're still bearish unless something's changed in the market, but who knows? And enough of those technical analysis. So I spoke about my trading plan. I spoke about a lot of things. We did an altcoin market update yesterday, so during the live stream. So the thing is, we spoke about everything, and right now let's just focus more on trading. Let's just jump on a lower time frames, and yeah, peace out. I'm gonna see you next one.